Karen was very sort of, she was an ambitious glassmaker. She knew what she wanted to do. When she started, I met her when she was working at London Glassblowing, and she was already doing really quite well. She hadn't been there that long, and her work was sort of like doing as well as anybody else's in the thing. And she's really proud of it. And she has some wonderful pieces. Wasn't frightened of getting anybody to help in. So even I was dragged into the workshop to do bits and pieces.
So Karen's background was metalworking. You know, she was a jewellery and metalwork student, and I'd been impressed with what she'd done. And I invited her to come to the studio to continue the electroforming setup that we'd just created. And the thing that she started to do, or the thing that she did really well, was to incorporate molten glass in one way or another. And the method she developed was to pull out threads and create arrangements of those. She created frits, which are grains or granules of sand, which she would do by pouring molten glass into water, into cold water, a bucket of water, so that it would break up, and then she would sieve those granules to achieve various grades and carefully arrange beautiful compositions.
So Karen was one of the earliest artists working with kiln-formed glass in this country, and most of her techniques and processes were ones that she developed herself, and this took her on a very unique path over her career, and there is no one else who has worked in that way. So each of her pieces is very rare.
She researched incredibly methodically and meticulously in order to give her very delicate tones, very subtle colour variations. I have to say, I think that what she achieved, to my knowledge, even now, I know I'm fairly familiar with studio glass around the world, and I've seldom seen, if ever, work of that delicacy, of that quality achieved through slumping.
Karen's pieces have an exquisite, almost transient quality. They look like ice that's going to just melt away before your eyes. When you pick up a piece of Karen's work, you realise that there's an intrinsic strength to the structure, and that your eyes have been deceived by the delicacy of the form.
She was a wonderfully playful character. She had a ready smile, and I'm very proud to have been part of her process, or part of her life.
I think to try and say anything about Karen that's who had such a wonderful black sense of humour that is in any way complimentary, I don't think she'd approve of that.